all technology should come with a young person. Don't you think? We kind of do. So we decided we were going to invite Anna McCabe back with us today to talk a little bit more social media for authors. Hey, Francine, how's it
Hi.
going?
All right. How are you today, Heidi?
Oh, excellent. Let me see if I can find Anna. Here she is. Hey,
Yay.
Anna.
Hi, thank you for having me again. This is wonderful.
Well, this is some puzzle that Francine and I talk about all the time. So it's nice to have someone that's actually been doing the research and playing with it and figuring it out here with us to, well, give us some shortcuts because, man, it just takes me way too long.
Yeah, you wouldn't be the first person to say that. And so I've been at this now for I think 3 years. So since actually before my first book came out, I was trying to drum up social media interest because I originally wanted to get an Amazon an Amazon storefront. And to be eligible to get an Amazon storefront, I needed to have like a certain amount of followers and engagement and views. And so that was the initial like start of all of this was I had written this book, I was getting this book printed, and I wanted to put it up on my Amazon storefront instead of just have it, on Amazon. I wanted it to be on my storefront. And so that's where my social media journey started 3 years ago. And I have learned many lessons. I've gone through all the frustration and hopefully put a roadmap together for people who are interested in sort of getting the shortcuts.
And they are
Yeah.
amazing. I sat through it live, and I imagine the replay will be great because you could fast forward and rewind and pause it.
Yeah, so I did put that. So thank you, Francine, for allowing me to like use your group as my test subjects, basically.
Anytime,
It
anytime.
went beautiful, and I posted it on my website. So what we're talking about is a digital product that I have called Social Media 101. It's up on my website now for digital download, and you not only get the like PDF slides that we showed in our initial class, but you also get the how-to videos that were in that class as well. And then you also get the recorded class. So I was able to cut that class down from an hour and 45 minutes down to 23 or 25 minutes. So it's just the meat and potatoes of what we talked about in the first initial class that we did. And it's super cheap. I think it's $27.99 on my website. So you get the whole shebang. Social Media 101, learn how to use reels and trial reels, and what's the difference between a story and a post and a carousel. We talk about all of that on that particular class. So yeah.
And well, while we're here, before we go any further, tell everybody else the cool thing you have on your website that I'm a part of.
Yes, I would love to. So, Francine and some other self-published authors from the Children's Book Authors Unite Facebook group are on my digital bookstore called The Bookshelf. And basically what that is a digital bookstore dedicated only to indie authors of children's books because we need a place of our own. And you get a landing page. So every author gets their own landing page. The book gets hosted on the bookshelf. I take care of all the marketing and the traffic towards the bookshelf. And you also get every month a newsletter called the Authority Press, which I thought was awfully crafty of me. And we talk all about social media. We talk about marketing tactics. We talk about business strategy tactics, and you get that every month as well. So it's a very cool, like, whole new concept of a digital world for self-published authors. So instead of just sending everyone to Amazon, you can send them to the bookshelf.
Yay.
Yes.
Okay, so we got somebody saying, Anna, this is not on your Facebook.
Oh, great.
Oh man, Deb, go to my Facebook. It's definitely on mine.
It says I'm live.
It well,
So Deb, that might be user error.
check mine and see if it's there, or go back to Anna's and refresh.
Yep. Refresh and then click right on my profile, and then right on my profile picture there's a big red ring that says live. Oh, okay. So anyway, we wanted to talk about, so the last time I was on here was 2 weeks ago, I believe, Francine. And what we talked about was basically I covered as much as I could in a very short period of time about what Social Media 101 was. So what I was just talking about, the digital product based around what are the differences between Instagram and Facebook, what are each of their capabilities, what's the difference between a post and a carousel and a story and a reel and a live, and who's eligible for those things. How to create these things, how to use trending audio, how to find trending audio, how to find inspiration. All of that we covered 2 weeks ago. This week, we really should talk about, since this is for authors, I'd love to talk more about sort of aiming your and targeting your social media posts and your reels, basically just your content in general, aiming it directly towards the people who are actually buying your books. And how do you do that? So I have talked about in the past, when you come on social media on the scene for the first time, or just in a Facebook group for the first time, you can't just show up and say, here I am, here's my book, buy my book. And the reason why you can't do that is because nobody knows who you are, nobody trusts you, nobody knows anything about your book except that you wrote it and you're screaming about it. And basically nobody knows who you are, nobody trusts you. So the way around that, so trying to move sales forward, is through creating authority and trust on social media. And we do this by what's called full funnel marketing. So full funnel marketing is top, middle, and bottom marketing. And each one of those things sort of creates a different aspect and content for your social media. So top of the funnel is where, I just want to make sure I have this right. I think the top is where we create authority. Yes, the top is where we create authority. So that kind of content is where you want to talk about why you. So what is it about you and you as an author can create authority in this space, in the marketing space. So you want to create content like, my grandkids, you want to use hooks and content that say things like, I noticed my grandchild was struggling with X, and that's why I wrote this book, specifically for that reason. So that is like top funnel marketing. It's all about, why your book, what makes your book accessible, what makes your book exciting, what makes your book interesting, how can you solve a problem for somebody with your book. That is top funnel marketing. I'm going to pull up give me one moment. I'm going to pull up a quick page because I want to make sure that I'm using the same terminology that I use when I talk about it with my clients, because sometimes I get lost in all the terminology. So let's pull that up really quick.
This is one thing I'd love to talk about.
Yes.
See how Anna says she's not completely ready, not completely sure, but she jumps in there and does it anyways, and she's learning while she goes.
Yes.
And that is what I teach. Don't wait till you're ready, because you'll never be ready. And that's what our Believe You Can anthology is all about. You jump in, You write 12 to 1500 words. You learn the process, and we help you make it perfect. You don't have to be perfect right out the gate.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Okay, so I'm going to correct myself. Top marketing is building the authority. Middle marketing is where middle funnel is where you come in. I'm sorry. Of course I'm mixing this up. Ugh. So I do a lot of top and middle marketing, and I do very little bottom marketing, and you'll understand why as soon as I explain what bottom marketing is. So top funnel marketing is awareness, clearly stating how your book can help and defining your niche. For example, ever feel like your toddler is a tiny, adorable dictator who hasn't quite grasped the concept of sharing yet? Here is why my book will help. Okay, so that is an example of top funnel marketing. Let's give a good example of middle marketing. So middle marketing is the consideration. They know you have a problem, your toddler's tantrums, they're not sharing, but they need to know why your book specifically is the tool that will solve it. So this is the consideration. You provide the proof, you showcase your methodology, or you offer a sneak peek into a transformation. So that is middle marketing. And bottom funnel marketing, which is, you'll understand why I don't do this a lot. Bottom funnel marketing is where you make your pitch. So the bottom is like, okay, you know why I'm an authority in this space. You understand how my book will help. Now here's how to buy my book. Here's my special this week. Here's my giveaway. Here's my offer. So bottom level marketing is all about pushing them towards how they can purchase your product. And I will say this because I say this to all of my clients. When you are creating bottom funnel marketing, this is where you're going to put your links to either your website or to Amazon or to Ingram Spark. This is where you're going to
or to the bookshelf.
Or to the bookshelf, or to your Facebook group. I mean, whatever it is you are trying to push, this is where you're going to put that link. I say this all the time. Test, retest, and retest your links, because nothing is more frustrating than sending a beautiful, a beautiful curated piece of content with a broken link. And nothing will frustrate your customers or your clients more than saying, yes, I'm ready to buy, and clicking on it and getting an error page. So, test, retest again. Test your QR codes, test your links, make sure they're going directly to where you want them to purchase. So do not send them to your home page on your website. You send them directly to the product that you are trying to push. That's the URL you want to use whenever you are you are pushing a product in your content. Okay, did that cover all of that?
And I just want to let everyone know, everything that Anna is sharing is not just for authors, especially not just for children's authors. This applies to novelists. This applies to adult self-help. This applies to coaches, healers.
This applies to musicians,
right?
You can use this attack, if you want to call it. You can use this content attack in any niche, whether you're selling a digital product, whether you're selling, hairspray. I mean, whatever it is you're selling. Why are you an authority in the space? Give me the proof why your product, and then sell me your product. Right? Those are the three top, middle, and bottom content creation marketing strategy.
Okay, Heidi, it's the first time you've heard this. Do you have any questions? And are there any questions from our viewers that Anna can answer?
Well, I think Anna brought up a very important point. Like, okay, yes, we can use this for anything, but if you don't define who your target audience is, who is this for, you could put it out there for everybody in this very general everybody terminology, and no one will click on it because everyone will just assume that you couldn't possibly be talking to them because you're not using the kind of language or the little slang words that you use in that sort of community. And that kind of thing is, it's really important for attracting the right people to you on social media, correct, Anna?
Yes, you bring up a perfect point. So when you are in a niche, you want your content to be hyper focused in that niche. So just because people follow you in multiple age ranges, maybe, for authors, we want to target people who are actually purchasing the book, right? Children don't buy books. They don't want to buy books, they want to buy toys, right? I mean, some kids are the exception to that rule, but the general rule is they're not buying the books for themselves. They're getting books at the library, their teachers are providing books, their parents are providing books, their grandparents are providing books, a neighbor, a friend, maybe you're going to a baby shower, a birthday party. You are usually gifting a book to a child. So all of these different types of people are going to be following you, and you want to be hyper specific to them. Every time you make a piece of content, you want to think about speaking to one person. And what's great about that is you can then use that same hook and content idea to target those different groups. So for example, let's say we're targeting the parent. I've noticed my child is struggling with self-confidence. Oh, sorry. Ding, ding. I've noticed my child is struggling with self-confidence. Here is the book I used to help solve that problem or to help start a conversation. So now you've taken that one hook and you've targeted the parent. So now let's target the grandparent, let's just say. I've noticed my grandchild, I can't get through to my grandchild about how they struggle with the scar on their face. Let's take Princess Francie for an example. Okay, so I'm literally making this up as we go because that's like my job. I'm struggling to get through to my grandchild about the scar in their face and how special they are no matter what. Here's the book I wrote, or here's the book I used to help start that conversation with them. Okay, so now we've targeted parent and grandparent. Let's target a teacher. I'm having trouble breaking through to that one student about, being kind to the other kids in the classroom. Here's the book I used to start that conversation with that child. Okay, so you've basically used the same hook to target three different people. But what you're not realizing is even though you're speaking to that one person, you're actually going to target all of those people that follow you. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, great. So you want to think about, instead of talking to multiple people, you want to get hyper specific and talk to one person in your audience, and you're going to end up speaking more closely to multiple genres of people that follow you.
Because confused minds don't buy.
Yes. Confused minds or inconvenienced customers do not buy. If they hit one small block, I'm over it. I'm done. I'm already out. I've checked out. So
what about emotional buying and how you use emotion in your content? Like I have heard it before when I was talking about coaching stuff, and I'm like all positive, and I'm like, yes, we're gonna win and it's gonna be great and it's confidence, and somebody was like, yeah, nobody's feeling that right now. They're feeling the opposite of that. So if you're not talking to that, they're probably gonna go,
Yeah, so unfortunately, in the world that we live in, and also the world of social media, people go there to be seen and validated. And rah rah siskumba is not the validation they're looking for. So things like have you guys heard the term rage bait?
Yes.
Okay. So there's a reason why rage bait is a thing. It's because people who are sending rage bait content out get a ton of virality and a ton of views because they have irritated or poked at something that connects with somebody. So you need to find a way to do that, but without rage baiting them. So you want to come at your content creation from almost the opposite direction. You know, you don't want to be, hey, all sunshine. You want to come at it as, I've been behind the clouds before, and here's where we can go with this, and here's the path in which we can take to get you out of this funk, right? You want to come at it in like a backwards way, if that makes any sense. I'm going to see if I can try and think of like a really fast hook.
Well, go back to Princess Francie.
Yeah.
Is there something making your child not want to go to school?
Yeah, that's perfect. That is a perfect example. Like, have you noticed your child comes home sad at the end of the day, right? Oh, now I've targeted something really specific for that particular person, but it's not all rainbows and sunshine. But you're going to flip it and say, here's how you can start a conversation with your child about that scar on their face or coming home sad from school. So yes, you are absolutely right. You want to target an emotion, but the emotion, people don't come to social media to feel like happy-go-lucky. They go there to feel validated. And so you need to find that pinpoint, that validation pinpoint for your particular niche and for your particular product, because you're trying to sell a product in the end.
And a lot of parents go on social media to unwind, so if their child is all whiny and complainy and doesn't want to go to school and has a tummy ache every morning, if they're just scrolling through Facebook, just looking for something to take their mind off of it, oh, wait a minute, this one speaks exactly to me.
Yeah, my daughter gets, that's a perfect example. So my daughter gets what we call the Sunday scaries. And every Sunday night, like clockwork, she's got an upset stomach. And man, I wish I could find a book about that.
I used to get that way when I was working and knew I had to go to work on Monday.
Oh, everybody gets the Sunday scaries. Everybody does. I actually personally love Mondays, but I know a lot of people don't.
I love them now that I'm retired.
Yeah. I love them now that I, have two little kids who are 6 and 4, and I have to entertain them all weekend long, and all I want to do is sit down and have my cup of coffee and drink it hot and eat a hot meal. That's why I love Monday. Oh, are you a fur mama?
That's Stormy.
Yes. Yes. I don't have real children, but I have one of these. And she likes to make guest appearances on the show every once in a while. So
they're just as much work, I'll tell you. I also have 2 dogs, and they are, Francine, they're always bugging you to eat and bugging you for a treat and bugging you to go out.
I fed mine at 3, so that's why they're napping now.
Oh, good. Yeah, so Heidi, yes, you bring up a brilliant point about like targeting an emotion, but it's not always necessarily the emotion you think.
Okay, Heidi, I want to throw this one at you. How would you take this formula and use it for people you coach?
We're talking about Anna's formula for posting.
Yeah, the find a pain point.
Oh, that
Yeah,
way.
let's see if we can make some good hooks for you. Well, I don't even know what you do, Heidi. You have to tell me.
You know what? That's a good idea. Heidi, introduce yourself.
Yeah.
All right, fantastic. Well, I work with music industry professionals, and in groups, we puzzle together how to have a sustainable and prosperous music career. Because it's not just cookie cutter, it's different for everybody. And just because we've been told that there's one way to success, it is not true. There are many. So that's what I do.
So, what would be a pain point that you could use as a hook?
Before you ask that question about which pain point, how are you identifying pain points? That's key too. So like, for instance, in the children's book Unite and also the Indie Author Revolution Facebook group, I find that information by the questions people ask. Usually when people ask a question, they need an answer. That's a pain point for them. But it's typically not just a pain point for them, it's a pain point for probably a lot of people in the group. So that's how I find pain points to make content around, but it might be slightly different for you. You might not have a Facebook group. Like, how are you identifying what the pain points are?
So for about a year and a half, I did a music prosperity forum, and I just got people together to talk about whatever was on their mind. What am I stuck on right now? What am I trying to figure out? And things like that. And so a lot of the comments that came out had to do with social media. The business side of music, not so much. Yeah, sometimes it came up, I'm trying to work with this software for recording or whatever. And then someone else would be like, oh, dude, I know how to figure that out. And then boom, connection, here we go. That was awesome. And along that line also, finding the right people to collaborate is another huge problem that comes up. And who do you trust to invest in, or who do you trust for music deals? What makes sense? What is probably not so smart to be doing? Those kind of things come up quite frequently. And I also sent out a poll through my email. And this year we're working on how do you get paid your worth in the music industry. And we're not tackling it from the approach of I need to book more gigs, I need more followers and more fans, I need to sell more merch. We're tackling it from where does the root cause of there not being enough financially in all of these income streams, so that many things could possibly get solved at the same time by focusing on one small habit. And as you know, musicians don't usually have a whole lot of time. We're usually pretty busy. So, and also pain point, I am also a vocalist, singer, songwriter, have been through a bunch of stuff. And so it was like you were saying with the book, it's like, I understand where you're at sometimes when you think that you're just going to quit.
Yeah.
And because of that, I developed these systems because it's what I discovered I was missing in those moments where I thought it was hopeless.
Yeah. Okay. So you recognize the pain points. You understand them. You're focusing on them. So how can you use social media? Are you trying to use social media to engage more people into your consulting, to get more people into your group, to hire you? Like, what exactly are you using social media for? Is it just informational? Is it educational, or promotional? Where Where are you going with that?
So I do free events. So that's the educational part of it. And I'm using social media to gain trust
Mm-hmm.
and have people understand a little bit more about what I'm doing. Because in the music world, this comes down to some of the language questions I was asking you. Because I was like, join a mastermind. And they're all like, don't know what a mastermind is. No clue. And so I had to detach from all of these wonderful coaching words that I like to use because they don't understand any of that.
Yeah.
And so learning to speak the language of the people that are in the industry is also part of what I'm using social media for, because if you just listen, like you said, people will tell you what they're struggling with. And you get a good group of people together that are all struggling with the same problem. Awesome. If I can get them all in the same room together, we're going to move the needle. It's going to make a difference. But I need to know what people want to learn right now. And so I guess that's what I'm using social media for the most.
Yeah. And you also have to remember, like, what also are you good at? So you can't help them. You might not be able to help them with every single problem they have, but you can help them with these 5. So, you also want to create authority in the spaces you actually have authority. And I'm going to ask you a question. And my coach used to ask me this all the time, because sometimes my content comes out a little muddled. It's not as pinpointed as it should be. So the question she always reminds me of is, who are you? Who do you help? And how do you help them? And you have to be able to answer those 3 questions clear as day to be able to hyper focus your content. If you're like, well, I do this and I do that and I sort of help with this and I can kind of do that. No, you need to be hyper focused. Who are you? Who do you help? And how do you help them? Like, just write it down.
Music Prosperity Guide.
Prosperity Guide.
I'm all nervous now. Okay.
I know. Don't be nervous. Test.
I help music industry professionals, and I do it with educational events, group masterminds, and an 8-week challenge.
Okay, and
music industry
what problem are you solving? Get hyper specific about what problem you're solving.
Okay, so in hyper specific, what I'm going...
If there's many, you should target just one at a time in your content. Okay?
So we're focused on how to earn your worth in the music industry.
Okay. So my name is Heidi. I am a music professional consultant. What did you say? Music
Prosperity Guide.
I am a music prosperity guide. I help musicians find and earn their worth in the music world.
Like it.
Write it down. Use it.
I don't need to. It's recorded and I can watch the replay over and over again.
You have
like everyone else out here should do.
Yes. So those are the questions you need to be asking yourself. If you cannot clear as day answer those questions, your content is too muddled. It's like too muddy. You need to clarify those things, and you want to put those in your profiles as well. So I don't know, Francine, did we talk about your profile at some point?
Yeah, we redid my Instagram.
Yeah. So one of the things I do with a lot of the people that I help or my clients, one of the first things we do is look at their profile. Oftentimes their profile is like, author, published a children's book called, XYZ. And it's like, okay, cool. But like, who are you? Who do you help? How do you help them? How does your book help them? Right? So you want that clear as day in your profile too. Those are the 3 top things you want clear as day in your profile. or in any profile.
Ooh, I just realized it's 5:05.
Oh,
Ooh.
I know we were just having so much fun.
I know.
I was like, I can't stop it. We're on a roll.
I know.
Okay, should we do a part 3 to this?
Oh my gosh, sure. What are we going to talk about in part 3?
We could just continue this conversation and
Yeah.
let
So
other people come in and ask their questions.
so part 1 was social media 101, how to function in it. Part 2, we talked about how to super hyper focus who you are, who do you help, and how do you help them. And we talked about full funnel marketing, top, middle, and bottom. So maybe next time we talk about data.
I like that idea.
Yeah, because I don't touch on data and how to read and interpret your social media data at all in any of my products.
Ooh, can you make up some handy graphics to make it
I can try.
for visual people like me?
Sure, I can try. But yeah, so data is really important, and the data is different for everybody. Everybody's following looks different, everybody's niche is different. So everyone's data is going to look wildly different. And so I think maybe we can touch on that next time.
Love that.
Excellent.
Idea.
Yeah.
Well, are you free next week? We don't have anyone scheduled next week, do we, Heidi?
Hold on.
Hold
Let
the
me-
phone.
Let me just make sure that I don't have something here. I'm thinking we look good for next week, but I can confirm that after we get off the air.
Okay. You can go off air. We can chit chat in the back.
Let's wrap this up, and so everybody watching, just know that Anna is coming back. Stay tuned, and we will let you know.
Yes.
Mhm.
And just so you know, I offer consultation services in social media marketing, self-publishing, website, all the things.
And I already put Anna's website in the chat.
Oh, amazing. Thank you.
Excellent. All right. So if you can conceive it, you can achieve it. I made that backwards. If you can conceive it, you can believe it, and you can achieve it. There it is.
From
Yes.
the head to the heart,
To the hands.
and
Oh, that's nice.
Yes, you
can.
can.
Yeah.
All right, you guys. See you next week.